Okay, get that dust off there. Yeah, by the way, Nature Shaman is still good, and I already know a lot of people are not gonna be happy about this. The Nature King has honestly been taking a lot of breaks from Nature Shaman recently because I have to say something about this deck. I totally get if you don't like it. I understand if you don't like being OTK'd by turn 6, but there is something that you have to know about Nature Shaman that a lot of you guys are probably not gonna like to hear. Nature Shaman is one of the most skill-intensive decks in Hearthstone right now, and it's almost not even close. Like, the only other deck that I can think of that has nearly as much decision as this deck is honestly some like APM scam rogues that honestly I've already highlighted before, but some of these decks that really make you think. The only other deck that I can think of that is as close as this is something like Owl Druid, and honestly I haven't even covered Owl Druid yet, but I am here to tell you that, well, Shaman is still good. Nature Shaman is still playable, still seeing play at the highest ranks in Hearthstone, and even though Flash of Lightning did go to 3 mana, this card just feels like how it should be now. Because the thing about this deck, and the reason why I believe it's the most skill-intensive deck, is that if you are getting comboed by turn 6, I hate to admit it, but you just got high-rolled, and that's something that you just have to accept whenever it comes to Nature Shaman. And if you're trying to learn Nature Shaman, then you need to get over this mentality of, oh, it's either combo by turn 6, turn 7, or absolutely lose the game. That is not what this deck is aiming to do. There are several different ways to win. There are times where you have to use your cards for removal, like using a lightning bolt on a minion that's very threatening. There are times where you have to like understand the matchups that you're going up against in order to play this deck perfectly. And I'm not going to sit here and give you guys a bunch of advice on how to play very specific matchups, but let's go ahead and go through why Nature Shaman is still very much a playable deck and why this might be the go-to version if you want to play the archetype still. So the main reason why Nature Shaman is still a powerhouse of a deck right now is mostly due to Fizzle being core in Nature Shaman. I was very, I guess, unwilling to want to put Fizzle in my deck at the very beginning, but you just got to put Fizzle in your decks now because it's not even about being able to deal with warriors and being able to deal with armor classes. Sometimes you just have to be able to use one hand in order to control the board, and then you need whatever in the snapshot in order to actually OTK your opponent. Or maybe there are just some times where it's like while you're doing the combo, you're not quite there, but you might have a chance of getting the OTK if you play like Flow Rider, discover the snapshot in your deck, and then get a copy of it so that way you can, or get the copy of it, I should say, and then you get to get more spells. It's all about hand space. Just make sure that you're aware of your hand spacing issues before, you know, initiating the snapshot. But other than that, this deck is still pretty much doing what it's always been doing. It's playing totems, it's playing draw cards, it's just trying to cycle through the deck as quickly as possible, and it's not trying to use its damage cards unless absolutely necessary. So the cards that you really want to keep in your mulligan are going to be your Miracle Salesman. You still want to keep your Flash of Lightning more times than not because you just want this card on hand for the first one usually to go for tempo and the second one to go for combo, but depending on how you get your draw cards, you could easily save your Flash to where you play the first one to try and OTK, and then if you don't have all the tools, if you're not quite sure if it's enough, then you can wait for the second one. So knowing the thresholds of this deck is very, very important for how you use your Flash and when to use your Flash. But other than that, the cards you want to keep in your mulligan are going to be your Salesman, it's going to be your Totem, your Cactus Cutter. You can even keep Spirit Claws in order to just play it on turn 1. It's not always a safe keep, but if you just want to throw it against an opponent that's going to be playing minions, it might be a good play in order to just put it onto the field. Sometimes keeping Ancestral Knowledge can be a little bit of a rough keep, especially if you're going up against like a hunter, for example, but as long as you're not being extremely aggressive, or as long as you're not just but as long as you're not being aggroed out extremely early, I would argue you can probably keep this in every single matchup excluding the hunter matchup. And other than that, you just keep your draw cards. It's pretty simple. But the other thing that's really, really important to master with this deck is knowing how to utilize your Golganeth. And I know this is a very like basic thing that if you've watched a lot of these videos, it's very, very obvious, but with Golganeth in particular, like it's your massive way of being able to deal with boards as well as giving you some healing. But there are some times to where you just have to go all in on the combo, draw your overload cards, get your lightning bolts and your novice zappers in order to set up the combo. So like I said, knowing your thresholds is very important with a deck like this, and I'm mostly speaking to the people that haven't really played Nature Shaman but are very interested in it and want to get it started. And honestly, Golganeth with Flash of Lightning still works. So Flash of Lightning going to 3, the only thing this really prevented was being able to play Flash for 1 1 mana during the first flash turn, or being able to, you know, just to jam up for 2 mana and then get 2 card draws by like turn 4. But like I said, the turn 6 OTK is very, very unlikely, albeit it is doable. But this is just a deck that really forces you to have to know your win condition. You really can't be screwing up your plays. If you throw away a zapper and then suddenly you don't have enough spell damage, you don't have it. If you miss 1 mana in counting and then suddenly you don't have the mana for overdraft to play it, you might miss a lethal. So just really be aware of how you're playing this deck. Be careful of what you're playing and when you're playing. And knowing your matchups is very important with a deck like this. And I posted a lot of content about Nature Shaman. The matchups are still play out relatively the same. I would say the only thing that's really different with this deck is now a Speaker Stomper and a Cult Neophyte really do hammer in the weaknesses of this deck. So if you love Nature Shaman, go ahead and try this deck out. If you hate Nature Shaman, just play a Speaker Stomper and you'll probably be okay. But the thing is, I love this deck being a thing. I love it that it's still playable. And if you're someone that loves Nature Shaman, give it a shot, because it turns out this deck is still pretty freaking good. And don't forget, if you do enjoy this kind of content, feel free to like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, check out the Nature King Patreon. It's not actually called Nature King, but it's Patreon Clark HELLSCREAM. You guys already know what this is. Go ahead and check out the information if you want to get, you know, coaching, optimizations, and shout outs in future videos. But thank you so much for making it to the end of this deck intro, and we'll see you for the next one. All right, against Rogue, Ragu. Okay, claws, let's go. This cat's got claws. Snake Oil still worth it in this deck? It's just a tradable card. That's one reason why you played it, and it's still a good reason. You mostly are playing Salesman for a 2/2 now. You watch Nagamage, you realize how much information you're trying to process so fast. I mean, it's also just knowing like what's good and what's not. Because one problem that I feel like a lot of people have with Hearthstone in particular is that they think too much on stuff that doesn't matter, and it takes them too long to figure out, oh, wait a minute, I shouldn't be thinking about this. I should be thinking about literally anything else. So it's just a thing of like, it's like memory to a degree. Where like you have to play it to begin with, you have to realize what's bad, and then later on you figure out what's good. Wait, what? Oh, you bastard. Oh, why do I always get high rolled, man? It's literally unavoidable. See, he high rolled me. How do I stop this? Got this into healing. When I was young and didn't speak English well as my second language, I never understood how to pronounce rogue. Like, what the fuck? Yeah, I know, right? Some English words just don't make sense until you hear them said out loud. I'm pretty sure there's other things like that in other languages, but English in particular has a lot of those stupid like Rogu? Rogu sounds like how you would probably pronounce it. Rogu? No, it's rogue. Wagyu. Yeah, Wagyu. Oh, no, I needed that. That's actually really bad if he's got Sonya.
Go with the flow.
Could probably end up playing Fizzle here. Draw 2, play Fizzle, then play this on 6. Rogue with the French J. R-O-J. What are you doing? Okay, he's getting armor. I might need to stall one more turn before going for it. Snake Warlock is great. Thanks to the YouTube video. No problem, man. Glad that I can help you out. It's a really goofy deck, and I'm glad that I actually had so much success with it. Legitimately crazy. I did not expect a deck like that to perform like it did. Oh, Golganeth? Wait a minute. Technically missed one healing, but it's fine. I think next turn we get there, and if Golganath survives, then I can draw the lightning bolt. That's in my deck. Yo, Unstoppable coming in with the prime. Oh god, no! That was my second flash, and I could have discovered another one, but I went with this cause damage. I could have had damage up. Oh. Dude, this was Omega lethal if he didn't play the Neophyte. So we're gonna have to segment this, and we're gonna have to get lucky. Find snapshot. Is this still possible?
I will not be rushed. Solves any problem.
We're gonna have to watch our overload count, but I think this is enough if he doesn't just kill me. Interactive gameplay? I mean, it quite literally is. Quite literally, he is interacting with me. I guarantee you he's probably got fucking Speaker Stomper. At least at the deck, maybe not in hand. Okay, no Stomper. All right, I think we got this now. Yeah, it's Omega over now. Ignore the win rate up here, okay? Ignore this win rate. I was playing this deck badly for a while. All right, ignore that win rate. It's my first game. All right, if anyone comments about the win rate, they weren't here for that announcement.
Who shall tremble? You stand before King Rastakan.
These stats aren't to be trusted. These stats aren't to be trusted. These are not stats from the new patch. These are bait stats.
I have my eye on you. The storm is in me.
Nature Shaman still does its thing. The question is if the meta might be too hostile. I mean, I'll definitely tell you right now, Nature Shaman's position, the meta did get slightly worse. But it's not a dead deck by any means.
Go with the flow.
Probably prioritize healing and life gain. Do I need Fizzle or can we replace him? You really want Fizzle. You really want Fizzle in this deck. Still tier 2 at least, for sure. Well, okay, it's tier 2 legitimately speaking, but it's gonna be tier 4 because people are gonna Omega misplay with it now because they're just gonna miss lines, which is what happens when this deck has decisions, right? Oh no, the solitaire deck actually has thought that goes into it and it's not just a solitaire deck? Oh no. Oh no, I can interact with the solitaire deck? Oh no. Do I think Shopper Demon Hunter could come back? It could. I don't think it will, but I think it'll be like a solid tier 3. He's telling me there's a chance, Lloyd Christmas. Yes! There's always a chance. Good enough. Like, he's playing Snake and we've got the board. Shopper works if you're on the coin. Yeah, true, but at the same time, there are still ways the deck can win. It's just not nearly as good as it used to be. But it's funny how like Demon Hunter is literally like, it is 1 mana away from being busted all the time. That's just how Demon Hunter work, I guess. It's either gonna be Omega good or Omega bad. There literally is no in between.
Just use more.
Oh wait, shit. Oh, I forgot about the, oh god. I forgot about the draw. I forgot about the draw and I forgot about the snake oil. Shit. That's an oopsie. I really hope I don't mill Fizzle or, There's honestly a lot of cards I don't want to mill here.
My hand is full.
It's debatably one of them. Alright, next turn we play the Flash. The higher the rank, the better the average win rates. And now it's a high skill gatekeeper. It also depends on your rank. Shopper Demon Hunter is number 7 and OG's top 9 list, but those decks usually focus on the climb to Legends and not top 100. And see, like, that's one thing that people have to realize when they're looking at Hearthstone videos. Like, is this to get Legend or is this to climb in Legend? Because those are two completely different metagames, which is why my meta-analyses go into both of those metagames. Whereas, like, these are the easiest decks to climb with because this is what's working to hit Legend, but once you are in Legend, it completely changes around. So Shopper Demon Hunter is probably fine on the way to Legend, but if you're a Legend player looking in on Shopper Demon Hunter, you are not going to be impressed with it. Okay, this deck does not run Disruption, and it very much looks like he's running my list. I'm just going to go for it. I don't feel like I can lose here.
Any problem?
Wait, no. It's fine. It's fine. Back up to 30, but I'm definitely killing him from 30.
My hand is full.
I don't need Fizzle.
The storm is in me.
Technically have the mana for the Damn it, one time. Can't hit it one time. Oh wait, shit. Oh, it's fine. Whoops! Thought I threw the game for a second. Missed 1 damage, oops. Oops. Yeah, Nature Shaman dead? Not at all. Not at all. Nature Shaman's not dead by any means.
Don't keep your thoughts to yourself.
One dose solves
Wait a minute, what?
problem.
Psychic Conjurer? What is the? What is this? What is going on here? What is this deck of Hearthstone cards that I'm gonna eventually flame somebody on Twitter for? Because it's a priest deck.
One dose solves.
Reno Control? I mean, it could be. It's the only thing that makes sense so far. But Psychic Conjurer? That's weird. I hate to say it, but like I don't even hate to say it, but like the first thing I'm thinking of is freaking Casino Priest. Oh wait, shit. Whoops.
These things happen.
Duh. I completely forgot about the Blood Mage having spell damage. I played the Blood Mage for the card draw.
These things happen.
Lol.
Oh, it's an honor to be here.
Hey. If this dies and I mill a card, it's fine. We got this, we have a Discover, we have more Discover. Those guys don't mega dead. Oh my god. We're killing him before Ignis becomes a problem. Not this time, buddy. Not this time, dude. Oh, yo, I didn't even ask, but what was Tic Tac playing today? Okay, it's Omega over. Over. Jover.
Go with the flow.
Good lord.
Go with the flow.
I technically have enough for this. The one totem to rule them all. Turn 6 lethal still possible? This deck will never go away, I'm sorry. It's still good.